I am Reverend Karin Einhaus, the spiritual leader of this amazing, amazing community. And today I've been joking and saying I'm not so much giving a talk as I am going to do a show and tell. Yeah. Do you remember how exciting that was in elementary school? Did you do this here in America? Yeah? Yeah. You would bring something. And so I'm excited. It's been a full week. It has been a full week for me and a full weekend. And so I decided I'm going to talk about my favorite subject and figured that would be easy in the preparation. And if you know me at all, it's no surprise, my favorite subject is community and belonging. That's just it, right? I am so interested in how to merge those things, how to come together, and not only to create opportunities to come together, but opportunities that have each and every one of the people participating feel like they are belonging. And so that's my job description right there. That's what I do, right? And often I have a conversation between the spiritual leader, Reverend Karin, and Karin, the community member, right? Because this is my spiritual community. And it goes something like this: well, what can I create, what can we create here at New Vision Center for people to really want to step into deepening, into belonging? Because if you're looking at the news, belonging is everywhere. And the lack that people feel in their smaller circles, in their communities, to the whole world, to life itself, people have a crisis of belonging. And so how are we going to do this? What is important? And then over here, I say, well, I can tell you what I like. You know, I like to get together with people. I like to share the good and the bad. And I also absolutely love to show up with whatever's on my heart, even if it's messy, and know that I'm loved. And then we do that, right? I mean, do you ever have those meetings with each other? We do all the time, right, Leslie? We have those all the time. So we're going to talk about the alchemy of belonging. Now, some of you may hear that word alchemy and you will say, wait a minute, that reminds me there was something medieval times. They were trying to use an alchemic process to turn anything into gold, right? The alchemy of that. However, there is a definition that I want to hone in today. And I think we have a slide for that. There it is. A power or process that changes or transforms something in a mysterious or impressive way. Now, by show of hand, in the sanctuary and online, we are looking, well, use the hand symbol and put it in the chat. That will work. Who feels like their lives have been transformed because their engagement with New Vision Center? Right. Yes. Yeah. I feel that way. I used to, I think about 13, 14 years ago when I offered a class, I used to do this little spill. I would, say, I have to think, I think I was Karen Johnson at that time. Different talk. Yeah. But I would introduce myself and I would say, I have a great life, look at me now, but I want to introduce you to the person that I was when I found this center. And I would turn around and I would share that dark, lonely place I was in. I'm going to come back here. And so that process of discovering this community, of finding a way in, and of being nurtured and fed every Sunday and throughout the week has transformed my life. And we saw all the many hands that went up. Now, the other part of my talk title is this idea of belonging. And you know, I think we use that word as if that means the same thing to everybody. But it doesn't, right? It means something very different to each of us. And it is wonderful, I think, to offer opportunities and to talk about belonging and to do all of that. But at the end of the day, it is important what it means for you, the one hearing this message, and how it feels inside. So I invite you, if it's comfortable, to close your eyes for just a moment and breathe in and ask yourself, when was the last time that I felt I belonged? Where was I? What did I do? Who was around me? What were my thoughts? And as you make your way back into this aware stage, I invite you to keep that with you as we go through this talk, because that's what's really important, right? When do we feel like we belong, like I can be exactly who I am, and I am accepted and celebrated and welcomed? And that is what we want for each and every one of the people who call New Vision Center their home. So we're going to look at this power of transformation, and we're going to start looking at it in the context of New Vision Center, and then we're going to go out into the greater community, and then we're going to go out into life itself, you know, belonging to the divine. And here's a little hint for those who can't wait until the end of the talk. The divine is where? Right in the center of our being. So we're going to go full circle. So let's take a look at the power of transformation of belonging to New Vision Center. You know, when you think about it, that sense of transformation can certainly happen on a Sunday morning. It can certainly happen when we are in a class and really dive deep into a subject that is close to our hearts and really makes a difference for us. It is those moments when we have a revelation, maybe something we have been wrestling with, a spiritual question that has been really hard on our heart, that we wrestled with. It can be that we have this experience of transformation when somebody who's sitting next to us on Sunday morning says something, and perhaps not even to us. Maybe we just overhear it. And all of a sudden, it's like a light bulb goes on. And we have that sense of, oh, I never saw it like that before. And it is the savoring of those moments that help us to mature spiritually, to develop, to expand our consciousness. And so this weekend was filled with opportunities for that. And actually, I'm going to start off showing some pictures of this wonderful season that is going on right now at NVC. It's called the Gourmet for God season. And for those of you who don't know, Gourmet for God is a series of fun and fundraisers that our congregants, actually our community members, put on, and they say, I'm willing to have 10 people at my home, and here's what I would like to do, or we're going to go out to a restaurant and for connection. And so it is a way of building community, one event at a time. And I ask those who have already had their Gourmet for Gods to share some pictures. And so let's see if I can make this work. Oh, too fast. There we go. Some pictures. I'm going to get, can you see it? Am I in the way? Okay. The first one was on St. Patrick's Day, and Reverend Michelle and her mom Linda did it. And there's some from the picnic in the park in the backyard in our home. And let's see what else we find. All right, Rhonda, I give it to you. I surrender. There, look, more fun people. That looked like maybe it was Pictionary or something like that. Yeah, yeah, and then there was an ice cream social. I see that, and then we have, I think, some more pictures. Oh yeah. Oh, there's something with potatoes I heard about. Lots of green Five Guys. Mark took some people to Five Guys. There's the backyard. We elevated the picnic from the floor to a table. And this is from last night's love letters and at Ron and Peter's home. Wonderful, wonderful pictures and experiences were shared. I think we have one more slide. And it was just amazing. And so I want to take a moment and give a great big applause for our Gourmet for God team and for all of the people who have opened their hearts and homes for this great fun and fundraiser. Now, what does that have to do with belonging? That, beloveds, that stepping in, feeling so inspired to put something on and for people to bid on it, that is belonging to me. That is saying, this is my community. And what a great creative way of supporting it, because all of the funds that are being raised are coming to New Vision Center. And it's the biggest fundraiser that we do, and it allows us not to come to the community and ask for support quite so often, because it happens organically. And I think that's absolutely fabulous. And so then, yesterday, we had, you heard from our NVC outreach team that this quarter we are supporting Arizona Special Olympics. And so yesterday, a great many of us went and, braced the elements of the sun in Arizona, and were out on the field. And if people are here who were part of that outreach team support event, would you please rise here in the sanctuary online? I see a couple. Yes, look at that. And there are pictures. We look darn good, aren't we? Yes, and I think we have one more slide. Our kids were there. Youth and Family Ministry showed up so beautifully. It was a very humbling and touching experience. And I just want to share one little thing. I had an experience. I was actually in the restroom yesterday there, and a woman came in and had lots and lots of things to say in a not very kind way, and she was clearly just expressing. And I found myself be so much more open and tolerant because I had just spent the day with beloveds who are struggling in a way I can't even imagine to come together and to participate in an event like that. And it was so humbling because it made me feel the difference when I lay down any kind of judgment and any kind of expectation that I have of another. A powerful, powerful experience, and I'm so grateful that our outreach team has chosen to partner with Arizona Special Olympics. So special greetings to Sherry Cody and to the project manager, Tom Finn. Thank you. And so all of that really speaks to me about our belonging to the human race, beyond New Vision Center, right? Wider, greater. And we had an experience at the beginning of this week that really brought that home, because many watched the sky, hopefully with protective glasses. And we have several people of our community that actually went to places where they could watch the full eclipse. And I want to share a video. I told you it's show and tell today. I wanted to share a video, and it's a little loud, so just get ready for it. But I feel like this video so wonderfully shows that we are all one. That we are all one. So here we go. Isn't that amazing? Here is an event that brought everyone together. This video is from South America, all the way to Boston and beyond. People having this experience of we are in this together. And I love that it is something positive that we have that experience. Because so often it's the opposite, right? If you think back, what happened after 9/11, there was that feeling of we are all in this together. And how wonderful that a natural occurrence can give us this feeling and hopefully shakes us up a little bit and helps us seek ways to feel disconnected, even on a Tuesday morning when there's no eclipse and we are on the freeway. Yeah. So that is to our belonging, utilizing this power of alchemy to help us feel like we belong to the entire race. And then, of course, there is the power of transformation when we feel that we belong to the divine. Let's take a breath. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says it so beautifully. He says, we should awake to the living presence of the eternal God within each one of us and enter into a realization of a new peace and joy. And what do we need to do to surrender to this truth that is in each and every one of us? I believe we have to let go of our littleness. We have to let go of this idea that who I am doesn't matter. We have to let go of fear and doubt. And we have to let go of our woundedness. And it shows up, right? Something happens in the world has perhaps nothing to do with us, but we feel hurt. Why? Because something comes into vibration of a pain, an open wound that has not been healed from long ago. And often the person in front of us has no idea what just happened. Have you ever had that experience? Something happened and somebody goes like, oh, sincerely feeling that pain. That is where our focus on accepting anyone, wherever they are on their spiritual journey, comes into play. And so you might say to yourself, well, I hear all of that, and what do I do? What do I do? How can I practice this muscle of belonging? How can I practice walking through the everyday challenges that we all face? I came up with a couple ideas that I would like to share with you. The first one is engage actively. Where? Wherever you are called. Wherever you are called. Find something, some community, some group of beloveds here at the New Vision Center or wherever you can find them, and actively engage. Don't just, call in your, oh yeah, I'm part of that. Really show up and be part of it. And then this is a very, very important point. Practice self-love and gratitude. Nothing heals us faster than becoming aware of the goodness that is already present in our lives. Create authentic connections. We all have preferences, right? We all have different ideas of what is fun. Find places, people, connections, events, ideas where you can be you. Wonderful, creative, colorful, unique you. Because that is what helps us to show up who we are. When we don't have to put on, the protection mask. That was one of the big reasons why Brené Brown came and asked, hey, can we vision for a women's ministry? Because she had gone out to meetups, which offer groups of women coming together over a certain age, doing fun stuff. But she said, it takes so darn long for me to find out, can I be who I am, my quirky self, and be accepted. And she said, wouldn't it be wonderful to do that at New Vision Center, where we at least have a greater chance of people, understanding we are all unique, individualized beings of the divine, and we all show up differently. And how cool is that? Colorful us. And all of this leads us to share, to discover and explore and then share our spiritual gifts. I love how many workshops and classes we have coming up from different people. Everyone here is invited to share their gifts. And then the last one, be open to diversity. Be open to when things look different on the outside than I expect them to look. This might just be for me. But I tell you what, yesterday's experience showed me how much of an idea of how the world should be I have. That it wakes me up when I noticed, oh, look, I have no judgment. And how freeing that is. How absolutely freeing. Beloveds, I guarantee you, if you take these ideas to heart and practice them in a couple of weeks, you will notice a difference in your life. You will notice a different sense of belonging, because belonging is not something we just opt into. Belonging is what we make a decision to experience. I am so grateful that we are on this journey in this community that has so many opportunities for us to practice, to step in, and to belong. Thank you. And now let us anchor this in prayer. Let's just take a breath and recognize that all those words are really just designed for us to feel deep in the center of our being that we are one in the one. That there is a place of the Most High, and that this place within each of us invites us to lay down all that doesn't serve us anymore. And as I notice how shoulders drop, how the breath becomes freer, how this sense of oneness takes a hold of every cell of my being, of every inch of who I am. I proclaim from this place that each beloved within the sound of my voice feels this oneness, this wholeness of being, that all is truly well. God is, I am, we are. And as we resting here, drinking from the living waters deep within, I recognize how divinely blessed we are. How blessed we are to have this awareness, to know this to be the truth. And so it is with just overflowing joy that I simply let it be. I place this word into universal law, into the law that says, yes, yes, my beloved, it is already done. And together we know this truth, as we say, and so it is.